Hi, this is Karen. I'm coming to you from my YouTube channel, Straightway Mental Health Ministry, and I'm here to talk to you today about autism, mental health, and addiction issues, all from a faith-based basis. And today, I'm just showing you my Bible collection and things I use in Bible journaling. Right now, I'm a little nervous and I'm stimming because I just had a episode where I couldn't find something, and that really stresses me out. But I don't own the rights to this music that's playing, but I actually don't think that anybody owns the rights to it because these are hymns from probably written in the 1800s, maybe early 1900s. So this is Byron Fox, playing this music. So just getting started. Jasper is in the background, kind of. I think he just fell asleep. He's on the bed, and I have my Bible collection also laying on the bed. That I'm just gonna start out showing you some of the stuff that I use. This is a little can. Actually, this had greens in it, I think, and I put three different kinds of contact paper, and the makeup brush really doesn't belong in it. But neither do the pencils. But I have these pens. I've been unable to find a Bic pen like these pens, but that writes in pastel colors, or like a purple violet color, a pastel pink, a light blue, and a light green. And I use this in some of my underlining for different topics, because some of the topics I underline and others I highlight because there's only so many colors and I don't want to confuse colors. And this is regular Bic 4-color pen. The Bic pens with the 4 colors are probably, they're more expensive, but they are actually made better than the Dollar Tree 4-color pens, which I have one here actually. But the red I use it for emphasis. I use it in highlighting. I use it for the words of Christ whenever I'm writing in my journal. The green is for my own thoughts. And black and blue are just what I write everything else in. Uh, this right here is Dollar Tree red, green, black, and blue pen. You can see it's crushed a little already. It's got a stylus on the top of it, but this pen is cracked up and they tend to break easily, especially if you drop them on the floor and step on them. So this pen is probably no good already. So those are the pens I use. I have two of the pastel color Bic 4-color pens, and I have three of these, and they are more expensive, but they're made much better and they last much longer. And then I just got some washi tape yesterday, and it's actually like a decorative tape that is usually made kind of like masking tape, and its texture and how it rips. But these are all pink. I have some other colors somewhere. I cannot find them. So there's just this one says smile today, and one says oh happy day, and this just has little dots, but these are good for marking pages in your Bible that you turn to often. And this is the actual journal that I use, and I have a sticker on it that's the day I started it, and then when I finish it, which it's getting pretty full, then I will put the end date up here so that the date began and the date ended, and so this is just a regular journal that I bought. It's from Five Below, and it's a good journal. This is the Bible that I use every day. I bought it in January, and it's a journaling Bible from Barber Publishing, and it was bought on thriftbooks.com. It has a little bit of writing in it from the person who originally had it, and I've covered some of it up, and I've left some of it because the person who had this, it had his name in it. I'm not saying it, but he had some insight on what he was writing about. For instance, he knew that the book of Isaiah, he has it marked that, after chapter 39, there's a change in it, like there's a change from Old Testament to New Testament, and it starts being about more about grace from, I guess chapter 39 or 40. And so he has that marked. His thing, though, is when he bought this Bible, bought it to write and journal about miracles, which there isn't a lot of writing in it, but just getting too caught up in miracles and, what God does is not always good, because the focus, even though there are miracles at times, is on who God is and just loving and adoring Him, and not on what He can give to us. This is the Bible I used as my journaling Bible before I got the uh, Barber Publishing one. It has pages that I added to it. Uh, that are blank, and some have writing, but trying to remember the name of the guy that I learned how to add pages from. I think his last name was Mayfield, and he has a YouTube channel. But the thing is, in this Bible, it's just very heavily highlighted. Both of them are in Proverbs, because I did a proverb a day for about 5 years, and now I'm just trying to move on to other books from the Bible, so I'm highlighting in those. But it's got a lot of notes with original, Greek and Hebrew words, and I just kind of abandoned it, not really abandoned it, but quit using it as my regular Bible. It's a King James Life Recovery Bible by Steve Arterburn and David Stoop, and it's actually pretty good. It I have just a lot of notes in it, because whenever this Bible was made, there weren't references made where something from the New Testament was quoted in the Old Testament, and the only, Steve Arterburn, David Stoop did a good work. My only criticism of them is that it focuses sometimes too much on family of origin, which our family of origin does play a part in how we behave as adults, but you can't blame them for the rest of your life for everything that you do wrong. It's just once you get a certain age, you have to take responsibility for yourself. So, also that I haven't shown you is these are crayons that I use in Bible highlighting. This is Crayola Twistable, and it's actually kind of superior to these, which are Crazy Art's version of the Twistable. I had said at one point that I wouldn't buy these, and I bought more. Both of these, the Crayola are made a little better, and that the crayon part doesn't come out of the plastic as easily as the Crazy Art, but the Crazy Art are good for Bible highlighting as long as you're not carrying them around in a bag. Reason for using these is because, like the regular highlighters, like this one right here, which this is from Staples, will, most highlighters that are the marker type will bleed through the page. So, crayons don't do that. And then, there are Bible highlighters, which this is really old, and it's like a gel thing, and it rolls up, and I don't have all of these that I bought because some of them I've used up or gone bad, but these I've had for years, and the only thing with them is that they are more expensive. And another thing to use is colored pencils, and the Crayola seem to work, in the Crazy Art, they both seem to work just as well. So I meant to show you those before, but I didn't. Moving along, this is one of the recovery Bibles. This is actually the Serenity New Testament, Psalms, and Proverbs, and just basically a warning here is that the original King James is more superior to the other versions. I do use this sometimes. I had bought another one to carry in my purse other than this because the one I have in my purse now, which I don't have out here, is King James, and it's the entire Bible. But these often have a lot of helps in them, and it basically, over 95% of the time, it's the same thing, but there are things that are translated differently, and the New King James was, translated with good intentions, but there was just, I'm not entirely familiar with it, but there was things that were uh, translated from the Alexandrian manuscripts and Codex B or Codex Vaticanus that influenced the New King James. I also have a New King James in the MacArthur Student Bible, and I haven't studied this and or looked at this in great lengths. I wanted a MacArthur one, and what I found was a New King James, which a lot of these came from thrift books. And then there's this one, which it's New King James. There's really no helps in it, and it's uh, wasn't expensive, but it's not that sturdy and coming apart. The main thing about it is that it's very large print, but it's not my favorite. This is King James. This is King James, and it's a Dake's annotated reference Bible, and uh, you look at it. I showed it to Pastor Leatherman before. It's got the Bible in the middle two columns, and it's got notes here. This was given to me by somebody as a gift, and it's a more expensive Bible. It's kind of like a study Bible, and it's just it's really good if I need some understanding of things. I do have online resources, but I am trying to have hard copies of the online resources because the way things are going with just politically and with the economy and stuff, I think that we're headed for hard times and it might not always be internet. Uh, this is King James and it's Reformers Unanimous Bible, and it has, the plan of salvation in the beginning, and it has just different teachings in it. It's good to turn to when you're having particular problems. Like I've said before, it has a section for people who are having, suicidal thoughts, and that's something. And I know I made a video of my Bibles before. I don't think I posted it, but I've got new ones since then. This is the Scofield Bible. This was given to me upon my graduation for Altoona Bible Institute. If you are planning on going to Altoona Bible Institute, this is a good Bible to have. I would have liked to have had it before I even started. I think it would have been helpful to have this. They sometimes get them at the Rescue Mission thrift store and they give away Bibles for free there, so you might be able to find one there if you're looking for one. And it's a study Bible. It has a lot of references and stuff, and it's actually pretty good. Brand new, I think they cost between about $50. Uh, this is another King James Bible. Somebody once remarked that this is an old Bible, and even though it was bought actually in 2009, but it was used very heavily. It's got a lot of notes. This is I think it's Thomas Nelson. It's a Thomas Nelson study Bible, and it's not. They've come out with a new one since then. Some of the notes in it, however, are based on commentaries, and some of the commentators, uh, they said things like that the badger skins that are mentioned in the building of the tabernacle were dolphin skins, and we know that that probably isn't true. A lot of the commentators have speculated and guessed things and tried to actually disprove things, but for the most part, this is a pretty good Bible, but they don't make these anymore because they have an updated version. Uh, so that's it of the King James version that I have. A lot of these other versions, I don't recommend them as much, but my thing is that they have good helps in them, and that it's really hard to get somebody to read the Bible, and if I can only get them to read the other versions, it's just really hard. Yeah, this is a ESV student Bible. The ESV is more of a liberal Bible. It is not a paraphrase, so that's good about it, but it's one of the translations that I'm really iffy about. However, this Bible has a lot of helps in it that are really enlightening. This was from thriftbooks.com. Uh, this is NLT Bible. It's the Fresh Start Bible, and it has good helps in it too. It has a lot of notes written by a particular pastor that I can't remember who it is that are good. It isn't one of my favorite Bibles, and the NLT is one of those translations where uh, I feel uncomfortable about how some of the stuff is translated. The thing is that a lot of the newer translations try to affect how gender is uh, translated in the Bible. In like the King James Version, it translates things directly, where if it was a masculine noun or pronoun, it uses masculine. If it was feminine, it uses feminine. In a lot of the newer translations, they tend to try to make everything so that it is without the gender, like if it says brethren or brothers, they'll put brothers and sisters, and just a lot of the things, that, say man, man can in some senses mean humankind or man or woman. There are other cases where the word man applies directly to a male. So the newer translations, a lot of them that I am iffy about, kind of confuse the whole uh, gender thing. This is a 1995 NASB Bible. There's also a newer NASB out. That's another thing, that the ESV, for one thing, has a number of different copies of it that they keep changing it. The NASB has been changed. I've been told by some people that this is second best to the King James. I don't know how true that is, but um, it's one of them that uses a lot of bigger, fancier words. So it's just something that if I read something in the King James that I don't understand, I will usually either go to the NASB or New King James. And this one here is the original NLT version of the Life Recovery Bible. I don't like it as much as the King James version because of the confusion of gender and stuff, but this is the Bible that we use in Christian Overeaters Anonymous, and so I keep it for these meetings. And also, because we use the NLT Life Recovery Bible, and also it has more helps in it than the uh, King James Life Recovery Bible. Like, it has a section that is written by Misty Arterburn that talks about uh, going to secular meetings. It's called, see if I can find it here, it's at the end. It says thriving in a secular recovery group. And so I found this very helpful, and it's got different things in it that the King James one doesn't have. And this is a New American Bible. A lot of times, if you're talking to a Catholic about the Bible, they will want you to use a New American Bible, or actually a Catholic Bible. This is just one copy of one translation, and it's not something I use a lot. I bought it. I don't look at it very often, but it's just something that I find helpful in trying to help some people. And the last three are NIV ones. The NIV is also a translation that that confuses the genders a lot. It was written, I think, whenever they originally came out, that some of the translators had good intentions and others were of questionable morals. I have two of the 1984 NIV, which the NIV is another one that there are two different translations of the NIV. This is the student one, and it just kind of bought it for nostalgic purposes, and that I had one of these years ago, and it was a paperback. This is hardcover, but it's got some good helps and notes in it. But I'm just the NIV is not a paraphrase. A lot of people like it a lot, but like I said, some of the people who translated it had good morals, and some of them had questionable. This one in particular right here is one that I probably would not recommend. I have it just as a reference in case if it comes up in my ministry to people, but it uses it uh, uses a lot of secular recovery sources from people who aren't even Christian, who have written books that have things in them that sometimes oppose Christianity, and they use these in the devotions. Like I said, I keep this one and some of the others just as references in case I'm discussing this with someone. And this is the 2011 NIV. It's the newer one. It's a Celebrate Recovery Bible, and it does have a lot of good helps in it, but the translators were very liberal. It has testimonies in it that I enjoy reading. This one and some of the other recovery Bibles have in the margins. Like this has from the 8 principles of Celebrate Recovery, the little numbers for the principles, and like this one and the Little Serenity one have in parentheses by it, where you can locate the origins of the 12 steps in it, and they're good for that amount of things. Some of the things in the Bibles I have here I use more. I do rely on the King James more. Uh it is my primary translation, but I use other versions. I know people say that it's harder to read, and whenever you do read the other versions, they do flow more smoothly, but really, words like the and thou are pretty easy to understand, and I said there's about 300 words that aren't familiar today, and I think if you really want to study the Bible, that's one of the best ways to go, and other people may disagree with me. But a lot of these books here, these Bibles, I just have, for reference and study, and because their helps are good, and other ones, I recommend more. So uh, that's about all for today. I don't know if you can see Jasper sleeping on the bed there. Um, yeah, he's just kind of really comfortable there.